So you just saw that it provides rapid absorption in less than 5 minutes. Why is this different than any other supplement? Because we use only premium quality, proprietary, branded, and scientifically validated botanical ingredients. All the ingredients are water extracted. There's no chemical solvents. This is natural, good stuff. It is a unique proprietary blend of 1 part herb to 1 part waters. Most companies that use premium quality herbs use 4 parts, 1 part herb to 4 parts water. We use 1 to 1. It gives us an incomparable potent herbal blend. We have Lignolow, which is a proprietary blend of bi-aloe, a certified organic aloe vera leaf gel that's been shown recently to improve outcomes in Alzheimer's patients. It has been shown to be up to 10 times more potent in asamannan, which is a nutritional sugar, than any other aloe out there. Prolignus, a Scotch pine cone extract, supported by 14 patents, is the result of at least 30 peer-reviewed studies showing an effectiveness in increasing the body's natural antioxidant protection capabilities and significantly improving its immune system recognition and response capabilities by 9 times in 10 days. So the other thing we do is we take these premium quality ingredients and we actually pre-digest them. We put them through a mechanical, it's a super wet milling process that gets them all down to really small sizes. It's, again, a pre-digestion. This enables a much greater amount of them to go into phospholipid capsules. Now, what's a phospholipid? It's almost impossible to mix water and oil. However, a phospholipid is a molecule that combines both water and oil ends that attract water or oil substances in the same molecule. In the protozoan manufacturing process, the now uniformly small ingredients are effortlessly encapsulated by these protozoans. And here's what it looks like. This is a liposome. All these are phospholipids. This would be the protovite active ingredient. But we run the process so that this entire molecule might be that one, or that one, or that one. So we get clusters of phospholipid capsules, liposomes, within a capsule. And clusters of those within another capsule, and clusters of those within another capsule. But we do something much more interesting. By the way, all the tissues of the digestive system, from the mouth to the colon, love phospholipids, and they absorb effortlessly. But we do something else to make the phospholipids more effective. It's called energy frequency imprinting, or Effiquence technology. We actually saturate the phospholipids with electrolytes, amping up their energy signature and improving their ability to go into the body. This was a trade secret until about a month and a half ago. We never talked about this before, did we, Peter? All right, so we did the study on 41 people, and the study demonstrated improved blood cell form, structure, blood flow, pH regulation, oxygen utilization, waste removal, etc. in an astonishing 5 minutes. The paper has been submitted to a journal for publication. Okay, the next product, real briefly, is called Brain Reward. This is a very unique product. It is the only multiple ingredient formula in the industry backed by 27 clinical studies on the formula. Nobody else has that. And it addresses people with genetic predispositions to reward deficiencies. These people have difficulty experiencing the satisfying reward that others get from normally pleasurable and rewarding experiences, turning off the intense desire and craving for pleasure-seeking thoughts and behaviors. These people can engage in excessive reward-seeking behaviors like excess food, sex, gambling, drugs, alcohol, and suffer from a host of conditions, some of which include increased stress and fatigue, overeating, reduced focus, reduced attention and concentration, awareness or cognition, chronic unhappiness or depression, and a lost vitality of life. These are all called reward deficiency syndrome, and here are the conditions that are categorized under reward deficiency syndrome. Some of them, this is not all of them: alcoholism, marijuana, cocaine, sedatives, hypnotics, stimulants, tobacco, both smokeless and smoking, glucose or sugar and fat, food consumption, thrill-seeking behavior, sexual sadism, masochism, that's inflicting pain on yourself and others, hypersexuality or being oversexed, gambling, internet gaming, ADD, ADHD, tics, Tourette syndrome, autism, autism spectrum disorder, antisocial behavior, conduct disorder, intermittent explosive, oppositional defiant, exhibitionism, body dysmorphic, like anorexia, bulimia, and bodybuilding, and elite athleticism, by the way, as well. Hoarding, hair pulling, pulling your own hair, not somebody else's. Skin picking, non-suicidal self-injury or self-mutilation, pathological gambling, paranoid, schizoid, borderline, schizotypal, anger, pathological violence, even serial killing, narcissism, avoidance, dependence. And by the way, narcissism, if you stand in front of the mirror for an hour trying to fix one hair, you're probably narcissistic. Okay? This all has to do with an imbalance in the hardware of the brain chemistry. These are genuinely not just mental, not psychological problems. These are imbalances in the brain chemistry caused by a genetic predisposition, a hardware problem that can be fixed. We can't change your genes, but we can change gene expression. So by the way, 30% of North Americans carry this genetic predisposition. That happens to be why there's a 30% rate of obesity. Okay? But there's a 67% rate of overweight. So there's some other genes that contribute to it. But 50% of African Americans carry this gene. 72% of Hispanics carry the gene. 58% of Hispanics carry the gene. 72% of Asians carry the gene. And 85% of Native Americans carry the gene. Keep in mind, this was originally a survival advantage. So we're out in the jungle or we're out in the forest and we eat the exact same amount of food, the exact same type of food, and the guy with the gene that carries this gene, when there's a famine, survives. He has superior athletic capabilities, he has superior hunting capabilities, superior intelligence and reasoning when the genetic predisposition is nourished. In today's culture, it drives excessive reward-seeking behaviors just for a dopamine fix. We take drugs, we think we're taking it for a drug fix, we're taking it for a dopamine fix. This is the brain reward cascade. It starts with serotonin, goes all the way down to dopamine. So imagine this is a set of dominoes, and you have to have this domino perfectly in balance and harmony and placed properly so that this one falls, this one falls, this one falls, and this one falls. Dopamine is your reward payoff. This is your concentration, cognition, motivation, happiness, reward, self-control neurotransmitter. Okay? So if you don't fix all of these, you don't get the dopamine payoff in the nutrition world. In the drug world, you can target a single spot. For example, when we did the formula, we targeted the genes that were responsible for the manufacture, transport, reception, and disposal of every one of these steps in neurotransmission. Drugs, like SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, target just one juncture, like they prevent disposal. Okay? By the way, 100%, does it get any higher than that? 100% of elementary, junior high, high school, college, and workplace massacres were done by people on SSRIs.
Like Ritalin?
Like Ritalin and Prozac, Lexapro, and things like that. Okay, so we did a study at the Las Vegas municipal and federal court systems. We went to them and we said, we want your worst relapse offenders because we want to make sure that there is no question that the supplement is not working. So the average relapse rates among alcoholics vary between 90% in 1 year down to 40% in 4 years, depending upon who's reporting the statistics. We think it's probably higher than that, by the way. The population we got in Vegas had a 93% relapse rate in a year. So they went before the judge gave them an option. You can go to prison for a year, or you can get involved in this research project. And when you're in the research project, we will pay the $300 a month, which at that time we didn't have a commercial product, so it had to be manufactured specifically for this project. $300 a month for 6 months, if you pay the $300 for the second 6 months. Of course, every alcoholic and addict said, yeah, sure, we'll do it, we're in, because they didn't want to go to jail. So you would expect that at 6 months, that relapse rate might jump up. In a 1-year outpatient recovery program for both federal and municipal court systems in the BioClarity Rehab Clinic in Vegas, the effects of the KB220, which is the KB220Z, is on the label of the Brain Reward. Were evaluated. Alcoholism relapse rate was only 7% at 1 year. There is not a treatment center in the country that has this kind of success rate. It's astonishing. It rebalances, it optimizes gene expression and rebalances the brain chemistry. All right, so then we did a study looking at heroin addicts who had been off of heroin for at least 6 months. This is the area of the brain that makes dopamine. This is the area of the brain that lights up when the individual, the abstinent addict, is considering or actively engaging in relapse behavior. 1 hour after 1 dose of the Brain Reward, dopamine's lighting up, and there's a 65 to 70% reduction in craving behavior in 1 hour. It takes 2 weeks to start rebuilding dopamine receptors. But in 1 hour, the nutritional impact that influenced gene expression was so dramatic, these individuals have dropped off the white knuckle grip on abstinence wagon and are now much more comfortable. So, Brain Reward is supported by an unprecedented and incomparable 27 clinical studies, you just saw 2 of them, that demonstrated nutritionally supports the ability to experience, for people to experience reward benefits from normal activities, especially in people with reward deficiencies. Brain Reward helps to regulate cravings, relieve stress, improve energy and recovery. By the way, in all the research, the energy factor was the most significant achievement. It's amazing, because when people can't make energy, they're in a state of survival panic, and their craving for survival is amped up. And that's why cravings are amped up. It's really an amazing achievement. So improved energy and recovery, easier detox, supported focus, concentration, cognition, supported optimal brain health, happiness, which is elevated mood, weight management, overall wellness, and vitality. And it's not a drug. Other companies have products that make claims like this. None of them have 27 clinical studies. So we gave all of our research and all the claims to a firm of attorneys that specialized in FDA and FTC regulatory law and asked them to review and let us know if our claims were substantiated. They gave us a letter. By the way, this firm has been involved in over 2,000 cases. They've litigated or gone to court over 450 times and have never, ever lost a case. They're good. They write, after a comprehensive review of 200 plus clinical and literature studies over a 6-month period, it is our opinion that the claims outlined in this letter, there were 33 claims by the way, are adequately substantiated. Specifically, the claims meet the FTC and FDA standards of competent and reliable scientific evidence when used in the amounts and promoted to the target population study, which it is. All the claims are reviewed and qualified while keeping in mind the totality of the scientific evidence available. Our company, Victory First, provides a rock-solid foundation of unsurpassed quality and credibility that you can believe in and rely on. I could have taken this product to infomercial. Okay? I could have put it on a retail shelf. I could have done catalog sales. I had an affiliate program for a brief period of time. And it was a guy sitting right back there and a guy sitting over there at a meeting a few years ago that said to me, you want to start a network marketing company? And the guy in Ohio by the name of Lonnie Coulter, who's our master rep, said the same thing. And I said, Lonnie, I really don't like network marketing companies. And he said, well, why? And I said, because everybody seems to always get hurt. And he said, would you do that to people? And I said, of course not. He said, we'd start a company. And the seed of it was at a meeting over at the Stage West, where Peter and Axel were included. I think you two are the only ones here that were in that original meeting that encouraged me to start a network marketing company. So I decided to do that. And I needed to have a great team. And I have been blessed by having an incredible team with Paul Pachanti, as Axel introduced him before, and Eric Alexander, whom Paul brought with him, who has been just an absolute blessing to this company to create an opportunity, because in all the businesses that I sold ingredients to, the companies that made the most money were the companies closest to the consumer. The people at the raw material end didn't make the money. They made a little money to keep them in business, but they didn't make the big bucks that the companies closest to the consumer made. But there were so many flash in the pan phenomenon because the companies just lied. And I'm sick and disgusted with that. That's why I'm providing irrefutable, incomparable, unequaled evidence that our products do what they're supposed to do, with a legal letter to substantiate it, with scientific evidence to validate it. I don't ever want you or anybody else who takes the product to ever be embarrassed that something is wrong with this product or is misrepresented. This is the absolute truth. I swear it. And that's why I started Victory first, because you are closest to the consumer. I don't want anybody spending a penny on anything other than making themselves healthy and the people they know, love, and meet healthy as well. And that's why I started it. And until that point, actually, I'd like to have Augustine, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to ask you some questions. Augustine has been taking the prototype, and Augustine has some issues. Yeah, would you please explain? Yeah, would you please explain to people what issues you were dealing with?
Well, I was dealing for 28 years with the diabetes. But the last year I was started getting blind because of diabetes. I started getting filled out my eyes with the blood, and the blood don't disappear from my eye. In last year, December 18, I did a laser surgery in the left eye, and I ended up with a Bell palsy. All the face was all down. I can't close my eye by myself. I have to use my hands to get a massage in my eye. And the snow ended there. And February 16, I get another surgery in the right eye. And I think it was heated up too much with the laser. I ended up with damage at the muscle number 3. They closed my eye, and the eye goes sideways. And they call me the next week a legally blind. So in the next 3 years, I'm gonna walk it with the dog. I'm gonna kill. But thanks to James, he introduced me with the prototype. And in a month after I start taking the prototype, my eye get improved like 100%. My eyes started opening by itself and started getting back. At the second bottle, already like a month and a half, my eye get improved 100%. I can see better. I have no DC, and the Bell palsy start getting 100% better. You cannot notice, and I cannot bring no pictures before, but if you see me like 4 months and now, it's like a different person. And I was ready to die.
What about the driving?
Oh, they take my license after the palsy. They take my license away, and you cannot drive because you can kill everybody. 2 weeks ago, I go with the test again, and they give me my license back. 2 to 3 years to be better, a little bit better, like a 50%.
What is the sugar level now you maintain after this?
The sugar levels is between 4, sometimes 3.5 to 7. Never more high. Only when I'm sick, like last week, I got a very bad flu.
You will be painful.
No, just get a glass of juice and you're fine. Because with the prototype, you got enough energy just to do.
How much quantity you take of the juice?
Only half of the cup.
Half of the cup?
In the morning, half of the cup in the night. And last week I was very sick. 3 days. I take 1 full cup in the morning, 1 full cup in the night. That's it. I don't stop working.
Do you take fasting or after?
Yeah, you have to take it, as everybody say, right?
On an empty stomach.
Empty stomach. In the morning and in the afternoon before you eat. To get it better nutrition.
Yeah. Keep in mind, thank you so much, Augustine. Keep in mind that when you restore the ability to use oxygen, you can now burn sugar to make energy. When you can't use oxygen to burn sugar, you have to mechanically break the sugar down, called glycolysis. It requires 19 times more sugar to make the same amount of energy. For the health professionals, it's ATP. One sugar molecule produces 38 ATP molecules through Krebs cycle electron transport chain. In glycolysis, you only get 2 ATP molecules. And when you break the sugar molecule in half, you get 2 lactic acid molecules. So for every 2 ATP, you've got 2 lactic acid. All cancers are bathed in lactic acid. But when you have to have so much more sugar to make the same amount of energy, that's what burdens the pancreas. That's what